Masih nunggu? All right. Yes. I'm sorry I cannot open my camera because the connection not very stable. So it's better to hear my voice rather than to see my face. Okay. The effectiveness of using contextual video to enhance listening ability. So pre-experimental research. So here the keywords in your title is contextual video. I think you have to explain clearly what you mean by contextual video. Now, before we go on, I just want to ask you, yeah, because after reading your proposal, I still could not get the what's that, the clear. I mean, I could not imagine what you mean by contextual video. Maya.
Okay, sir. Contextual here is the approach, sir, where later on my research is a learning concept that helps teacher relate the material being taught to student real world situation. For example, the contextual use of video to improve listening skill. So through video as a holistic educational process, and this context will aim to motivate student to understand the meaning of the listening subject matter.
My question, sorry, Maya, I stop you there. My question is actually about contextual video. What do you mean by contextual video? Is contextual video different from the common video? If yes, so what is the significant difference?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Contextual video is a multimodal content made of different modalities that is visual and audio track. And I mean audio with visual, as well as related text such as queries, keyword, and surrounding text.
So you mean the video will show the text?
With text and sound. Visual, text, and sound.
Of course, sound, because it's listening the real, So you mean that in the video, or the video will show the text simultaneously with the sound, or you mean that's kind of a subtitle video? Is it a kind of subtitle video?
Yes, sir. Like a subtitle and some video like movie or another example is like songs video with lyric maybe, but I'm not sure.
You're not sure. So how can you use this if you are not sure?
This is a contextual video here. Can give a new nuance by visual. The concept in concert way and displaying in real term. I think in the conceptual video and the video is not have a different, but here I use contextual video as an approach, like what I say earlier that contextual here is approach. Later on, my research is like a concept that help teacher relate the material being taught to student real world situation. But both of the contextual and only video, I think is the same, but can make different is only contextual.
Yeah. Yeah, but what is not clear in your definition is that contextual itself. Yeah. Now, contextual. So usually contextual is defined as, for example, if you show the local what's that environment. Yeah. For example, if we are in Pontianak, so we are talking about like Kapuas Bridge or Pontianak City and the palace and so on like that. So usually people use the word contextual to show the local tradition and environment that's happening in the student's situation, something like that. So what you mean by contextual video means that you try to use that video in teaching listening. Is that what you mean,
Yes, sir.
Maya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So therefore, so contextual video is not an approach. If you are talking about approach, it will be different things. Contextual video, so in your research, the keyword, as I told you, is contextual video. So the video, there are many kinds of video, and one kind of video is contextual video. So that's the keyword of your scripture title, your research title. So do not switch to approach, because approach is so different thing. So once again, approach is different thing. If you use approach, then your research will be broader, yeah, will be bigger, because you are using two keywords. Yeah, the first one is contextual is approach, as an approach, and the other one is contextual video, yeah, as the media for teaching. Now, please be consistent in your research. You only choose one thing, yeah, because if you include two things, it will be bigger research projects. Ya. Jadi harus salah satu saja, sudah, jangan dua-duanya. Ya. Now, this is once again very important that you understand what you mean by contextual video. I think what you explain, contextual video is videos showing the video, the images, and also the text, yeah, and sound uh, in local area or in local environment. Now, if you mean by that, so then I think it's okay. Jadi itulah kira-kira judulnya, gitu ya. Nah, the other question is that where are you going to get that video? And how many videos do you think that you are going to use? Maya,
Sorry, sir.
where are you going to get that video? Do you have that video already?
Not yet, sir, but I have planned that the video will be like fairy tale or movie.
If
That
you're talking about fairy tales, that this is not contextual video there, because fairy is not contextual. And also, you know, if you are talking about fairy story, many of fairy story is not from Indonesia. It's from other countries. Yeah. And how are you going to do to say that it is a local and this is contextual? Except that you will define contextual video in different definition. Nah, kalau didefinisikan lain lagi, ya mungkin boleh. Tapi kalau contextual video as what I said, I think we cannot. Yeah. So once again, you have to be clear, yeah, with what you mean by contextual video. If you are referring contextual video as what's that? As fairy tales, then you have to change the definition. Okay. Okay. Now I will go step by step. Yeah. Of your whole proposal. Now I think your proposal is already good enough. I mean, in a way that it's already the title is already okay, and also the sections is already okay. But now I am going to what's that? I am going to comment, yeah, in every section of your proposal. Okay, the first one is about introduction. I think the introduction is okay. I've read that one. But the only thing that perhaps you have to emphasize is was that that you have to argue that video, yeah, because now the generation, yeah, the net generation, the young generation like to watch video. So it's not only to listen to the video, to listen to the sound, I mean, but they will be, I mean, they like more if they watch the video. So the video perhaps will, yes, thank you for the sharing, yeah, share screen. The video will help them a lot, yeah. Now we go on to the next section, research question. Yeah, go on to the research question. Is the use of contextual video good for listening? So now we are not going to use the word good. So in your research, you have to use the word effective because this pre-experimental research. Is the use of contextual video effective? Yeah. In improving listening mastery, yeah, listening skill mastery, not good for teaching, yeah, because you are going to test the students' listening skills. Yeah. So I repeat, is the use of contextual video effective for improving improving student listening skill or listening mastery? That's number one. Yeah. Number two, if it is good, I'm not good once again. If it is effective, so how effective is it? Yeah, how effective is it? Now that's number one and number two. So in this case, meaning that your question number two should be deleted or removed. Okay. Now research purpose, just to repeat, yeah, the updated research question. And significant, I skip significant. And now research variable. Yes, there are two independent variables. So, I mean, there are two variables. The first one, independent variable. The first independent variable is the use of contextual video in teaching. So once again, the independent variable is the use of contextual video in teaching. What's that? Listening. Yeah. Meanwhile, the dependent variable is the level of listening mastery, yeah, not mastering. Listening, you could say, you could write like listening score or something like that, or listening skill, listening mastery, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Hypothesis, this something is not effective, alternative is effective. Okay. And then research terminology, contextual video, as I told you, you should be clear here. Multimodal is not clear because multimodal can be anything, yeah. Like what you said, you mentioned here, visual, audio track, as well as text, such as query, keywords, and surrounding. Oh, can be, yeah, okay. That's fine then. So what you mean by multimodal is the video with visual and audio tracks, as well as related text such as query words. All right. Yeah, I think that's okay. That definition. Yeah. Enhance. Are you going to use enhance? Yeah, I think here there is no enhance in your in your title or in your research. Perhaps improve. Yeah. Yeah, better or improve the condition, listening ability, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yes. And then go on, theoretical framework, listening, teaching listening, and definition of teaching listening skill in the context. All right. The concept of teaching listening. All right. Why there are too many subheading here? I think you just need one definition. I mean, one heading like teaching listening. In teaching, what's that? Teaching in teaching listening in EFL context. Teachings. I repeat once again. Number one, teaching listening in EFL context. That's it. Yeah. Nggak usah banyak-banyak. But your definition, of course, yeah, you start, I mean, your paragraph from definitions, and then you try to connect, yeah, definition of teaching in EFL context and how the challenges, for example, in teaching EFL context, yeah. And then the concept of teaching. So yes, but I don't think that the concept number 1.3, yeah, the concept of listening. What do you mean by concept? Do you think that's bottom up, like top down, is the concepts, or the methods, the technique of teaching, listening? Because the concept is similar to the definition. So perhaps the methods of teaching listening, yeah, perhaps. You have to think again. I'm not sure. Type of listening skill, yes, passive, active, and passive. Okay. All right, next, yeah, number two. Number two is contextual video. This is also a very, very important section. You have to be long in here in definition, I mean, in explaining the section, because this is the keyword of your research. I suggest that you include the contextual video that you are going to use. Yeah. For example, you mentioned about Terry. Let's say that Terry Fairy video, contextual video, for example. What do you mean by that? And then what you are going to use in your real teaching later, you have to improve. I mean, you have to include here. Yeah. Not only trying to define or explain something very abstract, but you have to bring the real example of what you mean by contextual videos, yeah, here. And you have to was that to give some screenshot of video that you are going to use. So then we will know what you mean by that. You have to also explain where you are going to obtain or to get the videos. Yeah. For example, if you want to download it from YouTube, for example, like that, so you have to mention here contextual video as teaching media. I think before that you have to, let's say, talks about the parts of contextual video. I mean, what comprise, apa ya? Comprise itu adalah apa yang terdiri dari apa saja, gitulah kira-kira ya. What comprise the video? What do you mean by contextual video? So I repeat once again, what comprise contextual video? As what you mentioned in your definition, like text, the visual, the audio, and so on like that. So how if possible, yeah, dan ini I strongly suggest if, for example, you download the video from YouTube, so it's better you give us the reader, like me, for example, the address of the YouTube, so then we can click and we want the real example of contextual video as what you mean in your proposal. Okay, and then here contextual video as teaching media. I'm not sure about this. What are you trying to explain? I think it's better to explain here when you say contextual video as teaching media. You have to explain perhaps the previous research, yeah, the research that conducted by others. This is the one that you can share. Tapi mungkin yang di bagian 2,5 itu ya. I mean 2.5. Either ya, yang terserah kamu ya. Which one is? But I think you can remove one section, but you need to explain, to have a section that explain the previous research about contextual video of, or if you don't find the contextual video, at least video for teaching listening, yeah, for teaching listening as media, teaching media. Conceptual concepts, apa maksudnya? Conceptual, or the concepts of, perhaps, yeah, the concept of contextual video in teaching listening. I don't know what do you mean by that. Yeah, it's better directly talk about the types of contextual video. Yeah, the video presentation, educational video, entertainment video. So which one is yours? I mean, which one, what types of contextual video are you going to use? Are you going to use all of these or one of these? Yeah, nanti you have to be key. All right, so next, ini tadi yang menurut saya yang the previous research, can put it here, some research, ya. Kalau bisa jangan menggunakan like cited in, ya. It's better you to read the original resource, because you can for example read in Luh et al. 2019 about Sudiman, and I think Luh will give you the address, or at least the title, full title of Sudiman research, so you can search in Google Scholar and you will find easy now. So it's better to read Sudiman rather than to read Luh et al. All right, conceptual is mainly explaining about how are you going to teach using contextual video. Okay, now we go on. Research design. Pre-eksperimental. Sugiono. Nah, ini kan Sugiono, Indewi, and Syurim. Kalau bisa, nah gitu ya. Langsung Sugiono aja. Dan seperti yang saya sampaikan sebelumnya, sebenarnya kita buku Sugiono tidak terlalu disarankan ya. Banyak masalah di situ ya. Lebih baik kita membaca buku yang our primary resource like Creswell, like Cohen ya. Ini juga ada justru Cohen, Manson and Manion yang tahun terakhir itu, atau link buku yang saya pernah bagi itu. So I mean I give you access to the books ya. It's better because the explanation is not very big. I mean it's not very difficult, very simple. Terutama di buku Cohen ya, it's easier. Apalagi kalau nggak salah, kalau di buku Cohen itu penjelasan tentang pre-experimental is very short, ya. Maybe only 1 page. They talks about the pre-experimental research. Please read that, and I think it's easier and better. So it is stronger references. Okay, population and sample. Population and sample. Population kok cuma satu? Populasi itu cuma satu kelas kan? In your case. In your school, I mean the school that you are going to do, satu Sambas ya?
Yes, sir.
Only one?
Only one class, sir.
Kalau gitu nggak usah sebut populasi lah, langsung saja ya.
Aja, sir ya.
Makanya ini sample of this study, bingung saya ini apa maksudnya yang tabel ini nih. Coba turunkan lagi. Itu tuh. What do you mean by that?
Ini data dari siswa yang akan saya lakukan, berikan treatment, sir.
Ini data apa? What kind of data? Maksudnya data apa? Lagi tabel itu berapa kolom itu? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So column 1 is for what? Ya, nggak jelas. Jadi gini aja ya. So I suggest, because in your case you have only one class, you have 40 students, and you you said you have pre-experimental, so meaning that you need only one group of students. So it's better you take one class as your as your sample. So how are you going to write it? You could write population and sample, of course, yeah, population and sample. But in your explanation, you are saying that you are using the total population sampling, yeah, total population sampling. So meaning that you use all the population as your sample. So you don't need to do randomization. You don't need to do like clustering sampling and so on like that. What you need to do is just to take the whole number of the population. So that's why it's called total sampling, ya. Jadi tidak perlu disebut ini. Yang kamu perlu jelaskan ya seperti dia grade berapa, kemudian kemampuannya seperti apa, kemudian mungkin mereka sudah belajar apa saja. So you could explain something that background information about the sample. Ya. Teknik of data collection, measurement techniques, ya. Kalau biasanya untuk pre-eksperimental memang biasanya hanya measurement. Okay. Tool of data collection, ini yang selalu salah nih. Kalau ini tidak seperti ini, kan? You are talking about tools, so I mean in this section number 4, tool of data collection, you have to talk about the tools. What is the tool in your research? Maya, what is the tool in your research?
The tool is a tester.
So in this section, you only going to explain about tests. My question is that what kind of test are you going to use? Are you going to have two kind of tests? So pre-test and post-test are different tests, or are you going to use the same test? Either is possible. Yeah? You can choose, for example, to have two versions of tests, but similar. Let's say the quality of pre-test and post-test are just the same. Oh, not just the same. I mean, similar in quality, similar in difficulty. Version A, version B, for example, like that. Pre-test, version A for pre-test, version B for post-test. Or you can have exactly the same test for two tests, post-test and pre-test, both use one kind of test. It is also possible. Tapi nanti pasti ditanya, kamu jelaskan aja semampu kamu. Tapi yang jelas kenapa tesnya sama gitu, bukan gini. Nah, ini semuanya sebenarnya boleh ya dalam experimental research. Nah, once again, so in this section you have to explain about the test, not about procedure of research, not about how pre-test, post-test. Ya. Tapi kita menjelaskan tentang tes yang akan kamu pakai. Jadi prosedur of test itu kalau mau, research procedure, if you want to explain that one, it should be in research design section. Ya. Jadi research design section itu kan ada 3 tadi seperti yang dalam tabel itu kan, Y, X, Y kan, Y1, X, and Y2. That's why. That's the procedure of test. Yang itu tuh. Itu harusnya di bawahnya kamu jelasin. Y1 itu adalah pretest. So pretestnya apa tuh? Kan nggak ada tuh. Coba turunkan sedikit lagi. No. Tadi yang tabel itu Y1, itu tuh. Itu kan student achievement in listening skill before the test. Itu kan zamannya adalah pretest. Nah, di situ harusnya kamu jelaskan tentang pretest and post-test. Not here. Here is once again talks about the test. Nah, it is true to talks about validity. Coba turunkan yang validity tadi itu. Yang ini. Cuman kenapa yang validity tidak bold, yang C reliability itu bold. Jadi kan bingung kita. Padahal sama kan?
Sorry, I forget to bold.
Yeah. So in research it matters, yeah. If you distinguish between section. Okay. Jadi reliability, validity, and reliability. Yes, correct. Ya, tapi harusnya ada dua-duanya. So reliability, validity, reliability. Oke. Ini saya anggap oke. Baru data analisis. Yes. Data analisis menggunakan T. Sebenarnya sebelum T itu ada yang lain. Karena kan tidak tiba-tiba langsung T. Kan ada mencari itu. Interval. Okay. I'm not sure about this. Yeah, I'm not sure. You have to check it out once again. Because you are using pre-experimental research. Pre-experimental research usually simpler. Yeah, this one is too big. But I want you to check once again about the. About the analysis, for pre-experimental research. Okay, next about references. As I told you before, so please refer to APA style, ya. Kalau ini belum nih, masih campur aduk, ya. So please menggunakan referensi yang APA seperti yang sudah saya sampaikan. Yang sudah benar itu adalah di JIP itu jurnalnya prodi kita, terutama yang terbitan terakhir, ya, itu sudah semakin kami perbaiki. Semua artikel yang terbit di sana sudah kita cek, sudah memenuhi style APA style for referencing, ya, writing. Ya, I used to post the article from JIP. So please look at the section of references. So then I want you to follow that kind of writing in references section. Kalau mau bagus, ya pakailah Zotero atau Mendeley atau pakai apa lagi EndNote, for example, like that. So much easier.
Actually, I use Mendeley, sir.
This one. Tapi kenapa ini kok masih campur aduk? Mungkin ini kamu ngambilnya di mana? Di Google Scholar kali, yang metadatanya.
Iya, sir. Saya download dalam bentuk PDF gitu.
Nah, metadata dari semua artikel itu ada yang RIS, ya, yang .ris itu, atau yang dalam bentuk lain, yang itu bisa clickable, bisa langsung digunakan oleh EndNote ataupun oleh Mendeley.